During an interview on 60 Minutes over the weekend, President Joe Biden claimed that the pandemic was over.
First Detroit Auto Show in 3 years.
Yeah.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over.
Well, you could probably find a couple thousand people every week who would disagree with that. Only they can't because they died of the pandemic. Over 8,000 already just this month alone. A baseline of death that the administration is a little too comfortable with, if you ask me. Even Dr. Fauci, who has helped to minimize COVID now under 2 different presidents, thought Biden went too far. On Monday, he told the Center for Strategic and International Studies that, quote, we are not where we need to be if we are going to, quote, live with the virus because we know we are not going to eradicate it. Fauci said it was likely that another COVID variant emerges in the fall or winter. Aside from being cruel and ignorant to the suffering still happening around the country, Biden's proclamation on 60 Minutes was also bad politically. It undercut his argument for more COVID funding in the upcoming spending resolution, at a time when the government desperately needs more money to research new vaccines and study the effects of long COVID, which is affecting millions of Americans. Already, Republican lawmakers are seizing on the president's comments to say, well, if the pandemic is over, then there's no reason to keep funding the response to it. Of course, the administration really wasn't fighting too hard for more COVID funding anyway, having fully embraced the commercialization of the COVID response. Claiming the pandemic is over only helps bolster the case for private companies to take the lead in this so-called new phase of COVID. But Biden's pandemic comments do put one of his signature accomplishments in legal jeopardy, the Student Loan Forgiveness Plan. Now, instead of grounding the authority to cancel loans in the Higher Education Act, which would allow the Education Department to modify loans at any time, the White House grounded its legal justification in the HEROES Act, which allows for debt cancellation only in times of emergency, like a pandemic. Conservative groups are right now plotting a legal challenge to the debt relief plan, and Biden just gave those forces a boost. Republican Jim Banks already seized on it, tweeting, quote, last night, Biden admitted the pandemic is over. The ongoing public health emergency was the entire basis for Biden's unconstitutional student loan forgiveness plan. Emergency powers, vaccine mandates, and COVID funding requests should be voided today. The libertarian weirdos over at Reason also now claiming that Biden just undermined his own debt forgiveness plan. So, yeah, great work, Joe. However, declaring the pandemic over does send a message that the forces of capital have been eager to hear. It gives them cover to keep rolling back pandemic policies aimed at keeping workers safe. One day after the 60 Minutes interview, More Perfect Union reported on a leaked corporate memo at Starbucks discussing plans to end COVID pay and sick leave policies. And the Wall Street Journal reported that employers are getting more strict now about workers showing up at the office. That has a knock-on effect for real estate developers who are hoping to return to pre-pandemic sales of office space, a market that has been lacking with the rise of telework during the pandemic. The Journal noted, quote, landlords are taking some comfort from a shift in the conversation from one focused on health concerns to one that is more of a tug of war between managers who want workers to return and employees who want more flexibility. Well, at least the landlords are comfortable again. Won't someone please look out for the dang landlords? Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.